Hey camping families, Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Winnebago today, taking a look at this new Bunkhouse Thrive model right here. This is something, I don't have the hard specs in front of me, 26, 27 foot, something like that, total length on this, tip to tail, tongue to bumper. Tandem axle, I think like a 7,000 pound GVW, so it should fit within the capacities of a lot of half tons out there. Not all of them, but quite a few half tons. You want to kind of watch your hitch weight on these front Murphy bed models, and that's really one of the big signature calling cards that I want to point out of this floor plan. Winnebago has created a new-ish type of Murphy bed, but to my knowledge, it's the largest Murphy bed that I think has been released to the RV industry. Maybe I've missed it, but this is an Olympic Queen Murphy bed, 66 by 80 inch. I have not ever personally seen one bigger than a True Queen 60 by 80. So if you're looking for a bigger sleeper space in a smaller RV to take your family out that doesn't necessarily need to give up your daily drive and pickup, this is something that came out of nowhere that just might work for you. Now, the Thrive series here is Winnebago's newest towable offering and has some kind of cool features. Like it has molded fiberglass countertop and sink wombo combo. So it's completely seamless. There's no up-down level change. They have a huge countertop flush extension leaf that flips up on this one. The bathroom is the same way, where there's no seams where water can leak in and cause issues. They've done some really good things with storage with this. A little bit taller ceiling, bigger air conditioner. They actually include a ladder for the bunk, so you don't have to heave-ho, throw the kids into the upper bunk, and act like a pirate while you're doing it for some reason, matey. But the point here is this is a very popular floor plan that a lot of builders make. And now we have one more version of it, but I think it's a really well executed version, and I would really love to hear from you. What do you think about it as we go? So to give you your bearings, we're basically standing in the entry door right now. I'm technically on the top step of the stable steps. Like if you go to check one of these out in person, right when you open the door, this is what it's going to look like for you. So it seemed like a pretty decent place to start. Now, bear with me here. I'm going to move you around real slow so you get a feel for the whole space in one shot. Then we're going to start opening things up and diving into them in more detail. This is a floor flush rack and pinion slide, by the way. They're even laminating their slide end walls now, but they're still running wiring in them. Like you see the light switch for the lights above your head in the household and the USB plugs. They have also adopted, I feel like Imagine was one of the first brands to use this a lot. This multifunctional pedestal style dining table right here. And I kind of like it because, first of all, when it folds down into a sleeper, it actually has center support, which most tables do not. Right now, I have it shoved off to the side because the cool thing with this is you can slide it side to side and in and out a little bit. So for the most part, it leaves me more room to walk around this floor plan. But if you're like me and you're a little thicker, thicker in the midsection, there we go. I pulled it the wrong direction. You can slide it around as needed. So the other thing that I'm wondering, when it's slid back, it might help us a little bit in ramblin', gamblin' road mode to navigate through this RV. I don't know, but I will find out when we get there. Literally just choked on thin air. That hurts. My eyes are watering right now. I'm fighting a coughing spasm. We're going to see how we go. 15,000 BTU central air. And your smart TV is on a pivot right there, so it can face the dinette. It can face the front Murphy bed, sofa, whatever you want it to be. Back here in the bunk space, this is not a move bunk, get out the way. This is not one of those ludicrous get out the way bunk systems right here. It's just two fixed bunks. Now, I see a sticker on this that says 250 pound rated, which seems low for these bunks, but they put the same 250 pound rating on a single bunk. I'm willing to bet it's probably 250 per sleeping space, but I don't have confirmation of that at this time. Both upper and lower bunks have their own windows. You notice how you have the blackout privacy shades. They do open for airflow, by the way. And this I thought was very, very interesting. I looked up here around the corner and I noticed some USB plugs, but I noticed a second light in the upper bunk. Now, if you're light sensitive, you might want to look away. Okay, 1, 2, 3. But it makes a huge difference up in here. And what I like about the position of the light switch, 1, 2, 3 lighting up, is that you can reach it from the ground as an adult. And you can be like, all right, lights out, kids. Something else I kind of noticed up here, if you could draw your attention over to the right side of the screen. First of all, you have separate curtains for the upper and lower bunks, which is nice, but also it includes that telescopic removable ladder for the bunk space right there. So again, you don't have to throw the children into the upper bunk. Now this down here is just kind of an open pocket. I appreciate that they put the netting on there to potentially keep cargo from shifting in transit. You know, whether it's totes, duffel bags, whatever, could be a dog bed, could be pet dishes. There's a lot of different things I could see going in that place. 10 cubic foot, 12 volt compressor fridge on this guy right here. Conventional microwave, not like a convection air fryer kind of guy, which Winnebago had been doing. Actually, they were one of the first to do that very consistently. And they have actually opted to go back to just traditional propane ovens here, just based on huge popular feedback. Now, I'm going to come back through and open all of this storage up for you. I wanted to leave this cracked because this is actually one of my favorite things I've seen in this RV. This little sliding silverware shelf right here. The reason I like it is because it's completely free floating. So if I want to take that over to the dining table, if I want to take it out to the picnic table outside, if I just want to get rid of it and have a big drawer for spatulas, I can do that too. I thought that was a really cool feature. We'll come back to the kitchen in just a minute here. Let me complete my 360 slow scope on this sucker. This Murphy bed is interesting. I've not seen one done exactly like this before. So first of all, whether it's in bed or sofa mode, you have some really nice breeze across windows right there. And you might notice you do have privacy curtain, and it's on what I think is the correct side of the door. I've seen some manufacturers include the privacy door in with the curtain, and to me it defeats the purpose, essentially. You know what I mean? But the thing here is it creates this big plank that kind of sticks up. And I'm going to leave this up to Cousin Garrett, the RV Nerd video editor. How would you decorate this wall? Or viewers watching at home, how would you decorate this wall? Like maybe one of those maps of the United States, maybe a live, laugh, love kind of sticker or something like that in that space up there just to help kind of, you know, make it feel a little more silly, a little more at home. They've done some cool things on this. But to show you how, as far as I know, the industry's first largest Olympic Queen Murphy bed works, I do have to take you into the realm of wide angle. So overall, it doesn't work too differently from a lot of Murphy beds that I've seen. It begins down here with a jackknife sofa. Then you see the double struts right here. All you do is just grab this handle and pull down. And there you go. It's just a big old empty looking blank plank. You have to grab this mattress, which is a tri-fold mattress, and pull it out here. Now it moves slow because it's all in the plastic bag still and it's vacuum sealed, so it's going slowly. But you get the idea. The thing is, when this is open, I've never seen an RV Murphy bed that's 66 by 80 Olympic queen size. I've seen Camp Queen Murphy beds. I have seen True Queen Murphy beds. I've never seen one that gives me the extra 6 inches of width right here. Now the trick with a bendy bed Murphy bed is you pretty much have to remake the sheets every time you put this thing away, and replacing this mattress is not easy. You have to go to some real specialty kind of mattress places. So a lot of times what people do is they'll get a fold-away foam topper to put on this thing. But I will tell you, this is not the worst factory mattress I've ever laid on. Now, I haven't spent a night on this thing, but this isn't terribly bad. One of the other things, as long as I'm laying here, if I can get my hands on it, showcase for you, the windshield does have its own privacy shade. So if you don't want to feel like an ant under a magnifying glass, you can close that off. And I don't know what it is today. I am suffering from some, you can see me probably swaying right now, from some borderline vertigo and hypotension, low blood pressure maybe. So pardon me as I get my bearings back about me real quick. Normally, with a Murphy bed, I have to try to get you some bonus footage to show the side stands right here. But this has this little double cutaway. And what I kind of like about this is, like, if you're a little bit more claustrophobic, it feels a little bit more open, but it also leaves you the perfect place to put either a CPAP machine, phone chargers, just to set a book beside the bed, or anything like that. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this arrangement right here. Let's go ahead and put this away. Notice the no shoes on the furniture policy. That always grinds my gears when I see people smudge their dirty footprints all over somebody else's furniture. It's just the most ridiculous, rude thing. Putting this away is easy because it's on the double gas struts, and it just kind of sits here. Now, the question that I had about this when I asked Winnebago, I was like, is this, it just does that in transit? It just wobbles? And they basically went, yeah. And they were nervous about it too, but they've put this thing through like something like a 10,000 mile simulated tow testing track. They actually overloaded this by 1,500 pounds over its GVW, gave it this huge rough riding, gravel, potholes, speed bumps, towing simulation test track thing, spent 25 grand doing this. They broke the leaf springs on the RV, but the Murphy bed was fine. So even though it kind of does that, apparently it's okay. So back into the realm of regular human viewing, the storage around the bed is actually really nice. The trick is to get to those doors above the bed, because you have these big side stands that extend out around this Murphy sofa arrangement, you pretty much have to either like stand on the sofa and reach over that flip up vertical plank wall, or open the bed and climb up there. But I think logically, if you're getting into a lot of the storage above the bed, you probably have the bed deployed anyway, so maybe it's not a problem. I don't know. It's different. You might think it's okay. You might hate it. I'm not sure. Now, they have two big drawers below the sofa, which is actually really, really cool that you can get to all that storage without having to tear everything apart. You might notice the side stands have those doors that open. That actually is pass-through access straight into the front cargo compartment. It's actually U-shaped, so we are literally looking at the side baggage door right there, which is a little bit uncommon. I don't know that it hurts anything. You know what I thought about when I looked at that? I kind of thought that could potentially be a decent spot for like a small dog bed or like a cat litter box or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I never used to worry about cat litter boxes until I actually got a cat at home, and we don't camp with my cat, but it just kind of made me think about it. Here's a little funny thing about me and the litter box conversation. When I tell this to people in person, they look at me like I have a third arm growing out of my face. My dog is also litter box trained, so it does tend to be a thing that I look for. Although my dog has insane anxiety and barks nonstop if we're not there, so I don't take my dog camping because I'm not going to be that kind of jerk neighbor. Now, I wanted to fold this dinette down into a sleeper because it's a big, like 7-foot sleeper. But again, I'm like suddenly suffering some borderline vertigo, and when I put my head downward or upward, I'm getting dizzy to the point of being dangerously nauseous and like almost falling down. So I was not able to do that today. I do apologize. If you need a sample of that, please don't hesitate to contact our team. We can probably show you a quick video, or somebody can grab a couple photos for you. What was that power flicker? Apparently whatever building I'm in had a little surge there, because the lights outside did the same thing. Anyway, notice, look at this. So they have doors and drawers for their dinettes. But to keep the storage in place, if you put heavy stuff in it going down the road, you see that little bullet latch that you can throw? You can actually lock the drawer shut for transit, which is something I've never seen a manufacturer do. Now, remember that little pantry that had the double drawers in it built right into the slide out that we already looked at? They give you a second one of those over there. So this thing actually has a surprising amount of cabinet space. Pantry space, or it could convert into a closet or dresser or whatever you want it to be, because it actually is convertible. And then this guy right here is a very large countertop flush extension. And I don't understand why the industry doesn't do more counter flush extensions. It's probably a little harder for production because they have to get it right. They can't have any vertical variance, but I like this. The other thing here is this looks like solid surface. This is actually a molded fiberglass countertop. And what that allows them to do is make the sink and the counter one cohesive object with no seams, except obviously where you have the drain. And it also means that they don't have to have seams like around or behind the stovetop, which a lot of people don't realize is a problem with a lot of countertops. Now, down below here, you've also got, whether it's garbage and recycling or just double the trash, you got a couple nice wastebasket spaces, which if you watch my videos, you know is something I am always harping about. I get so frustrated when the manufacturers don't give me a place to put a wastebasket. Winnebago did too. I also prefer towel bars over towel hooks, and I've noticed in a couple of their floor plans they've actually been doing both, which is cool. You do have, let's kind of knock this all out in one go. First of all, the toilet space, the elbow room is fairly fluffy friendly around that porcelain foot flush toilet. And with this RV having a 6'8" floor to ceiling clearance, even when you step up in the shower, I'm just a little over 6 foot myself. I don't have to have my head in the skylight. And you see that little retractable shower door thing kind of going on right there. It is the conventional 4-inch fart fan. There's nothing special going on there. But we do have ourselves a nice Lipitorge Storage Galorge corner cabinet right here. And another of those fiberglass molded sink counter wombo combos. What that's going to end up doing for you, I suspect, is eliminate warranty. So you're like, well, if this is so great, why aren't other manufacturers doing it? Because that's the most expensive countertop that you can find in the RV industry. This fiberglass counter solution that they have right here costs more than a solid surface counter. And this is what I was wondering right here. What's the road mode of this RV going to look like? When that table slides back, it looks like you have enough room to slip past here. Here's the thing. You would probably still technically be walking on the inside edge of the rack and pinion slide. And in theory, as long as you're careful about that, you're not going to hurt anything. But I shouldn't professionally recommend that you get on that slide at all while it's retracted as a rack and pinion slide. So the only thing I can professionally recommend is that you do a Dukes of Hazzard yeehaw and jump over the countertops of Hazard County right here to get back there if needed. Oh, it is hot in here today. Anyway, the other thing that I like to check for road mode on these Murphy bed models, can you use the Murphy bed thing while it's retracted? Let me take a bit of a knee over here. No. The short answer is no, you can't. There's no way to flip that bed down. The sofa won't even fold down into a jackknife. There is just no space. You have to put the bed away to roll down the road with this thing, which isn't awesome. That might be a problem for some folks, but I still like to take the time to do this on every model, feeling good or not, so that you can decide if this is the right model for you. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button. Or don't. Now, I don't have the full hard specs in front of me right now, but taking a look at the GVW stickers and whatnot, there's a couple things I want to point out over here. I think a lot of half tons will find this within their capabilities. I also think the cargo capacity is low, potentially concerningly low. This RV sitting here right now that I'm looking at has just less than 1,000 pounds of available cargo capacity. I don't like that number. Now, it's just a personal opinion. Now, I will also tell you, I pack very light, and I am a park pavement princess camper. I don't tow with water in my tanks or anything like that. But this RV, I think, could benefit from, say, at least 500 more pounds of cargo capacity. That's just my 2 cents. Now, let's talk about the front of this thing right here. First of all, you see a big chunk of glass, and that gives people a lot of scary feelings. One of the things that I want you to understand, it's hard to kind of showcase on camera sometimes. It almost looks like just part of the window. Okay, you see how it's a little darker right here and it gets a little bit lighter right there? That's not an aspect of the glass. That's actually, it's called a strike guard, but I call it deflection protection. It's a stick-on stone protection thing. And if that's not enough for you, there is an aftermarket solution. And this is what it looks like right here. Now, you can get it basically from any Winnebago dealer. It's effectively, it almost seems like this big, heavy, almost feels like a horse blanket that magnetizes to the front of this thing. And they've done high-speed tests. It stays right in place. and you can basically fire baseballs at it, and it seems to soak up impact pretty darn well. Baseballs being fired at it was more of a metaphorical joke, by the way. Don't put that to the test and be like, well, Your Honor, the nerd clearly said. So, up front here, it looks like a fiberglass nose cap. Actually, it's a very thick aluminum, and this is laminated to an Asdel backer. And there's a big factory support post that was right behind me. I didn't want to back right into that giant I-beam right there. Below all the fiberglass on the outside, it's also Asdel layering. So you have a stick-built snow-load walk-on roof. Everything else is basically aluminum framed, Asdel laminated. So there's a lot of solid structure in there. Even the slide walls themselves are laminated. This is a rack and pinion slide. A lot of people like to kind of know that. Now, if you look at this, you don't overtly see a thing that says slide awning prep or slide topper prep or whatever. So a lot of people think, oh, does this mean I can't put slide awnings on it? No, you can. It's just not prepped for one specific variety. But also keep in mind, an upgrade like that, an aftermarket upgrade that requires screwing stuff into your camper, is not covered under any factory warranty. So make sure you're dealing with a service center installing the stuff that backs their work and will stand behind what they do. Just a little pro tip from your Uncle Josh. Now, here's another little way to go shopping. If you look at the front tongue of an RV, if you see that blue sticker right there, it's telling you that this is not riding on your traditional Lippert I-beam frame. This is a Norco huck-bolted chassis. It's a Z-frame. It is enclosed. It is forced air heated underneath. It'll give this RV some a little more comfort in your shoulder seasons. But look at when you have a one-piece Rockwood-style Murphy bed, you lose that big front pass-through compartment. You get a small one under the sofa. So this style maintains a bigger front pass-through, but it requires the folding bendy bed. So it's always a push and a pull. You know what I mean? The power awning space on this thing is pretty good. I like that one beam fusion lighting that they're using under that. It's just kind of my preference. And against this white skin, it ought to cast a lot of light out here. I really like the composite steps, the planks on these stable steps they're using here. And notice the speaker location down in the skirt metal so that you're not drilling holes through your sidewall. And notice the lack of physical fasteners holding that skirting on. It's all done in a little cleaner kind of look and execution here. So we back up a little bit. Oh, before I forget, the spare tire is belly mounted. I don't want to forget to kind of point that out here. I personally really like what they did with what I'm not going to call a camp kitchen. I'm just going to call it a sort of campsite convenience center. And this is a little bit of a do whatever you want thing. But some people love camp kitchens, and some people hate them and want them removed. So they actually did a very similar thing here to what we came up with also on our own Wayfinder RVs exclusive to us at Bish's. We included the fridge, because that's a really handy widget, but then it's just storage. So if you want to bring a grill, a griddle, or whatever, there is a gas grill cooker hooker right down below that. You can make effectively an outside kitchen if you want to. But you also get to bring a good grill or griddle, because most of the grills or griddles supplied by the RV industry suck something fierce. And if you don't care about grills or griddles, now you just have extra storage. So that works. That works pretty darn well for me. I like that, but that's my 2 cents. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean you're wrong. Just means there's different ways of doing it. You know what I mean? Receiver hitch on the back and a bumper, which is kind of a nice 1-2 punch. You see the outside shower and the tankless on-demand water heater on the back wall right there. And this is a single sewer outlet kind of camper. And before I forget, I have a bad habit of forgetting this on the Winnebagos. These are power stabilizers, factory standard. So just push button, easy stabilization. So thank you again, everybody. Double check the links in the video description. I always like to leave there for you. The first one that you see will take you to our website where you can double check things like the price and the availability without needing to call a salesperson and give them your grandmother's blood type or whatever. And then the, that was maybe an extreme example. But the other thing that I'll do is I'll look up, say, like the Rockwood or the Jayco versions of this to let you kind of cross compare. And you tell me, if it was your money on the line, which one would you go with and why? I'd love to hear from you on any of the videos that you happen to watch. So till next time, thank you again, everybody. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.